A pollen-filled air in North Alabama tonight. We have a sun still shining here over us as it is currently 7 p.m. Central here. Local time, we have some warm air. We're kind of past that point where we're out of the winter and we're starting to feel like there's no more fall spring. We are completely in spring now as the pollen is everywhere. Allergies are flowing around here, and it's a fun time here on the Off the Bench College Football Show. I'm your host, Kelsey Uffine, of course, co-host Richie, sitting over here to my left, and Pops opposite camera from us. We have a night to discuss about a lot of things that have been going on in the world of collegiate sports. Of course, the Final Four is coming up this weekend. We've been waiting all month really to get to this point, and we're finally down to 4 teams that have played their hearts out, and kind of one that I'm kind of surprised. We got 2 1 seeds heading into the Final Four, which I didn't expect. I thought we were going to get more of some not really lower seeds, but I didn't expect we'd have 2 number 1 seeds in the Final Four. I thought we'd at least have 1, and we'd see a mix of around the game there, but we really haven't seen that.
Well, the last 2 seasons have really been very chalky when it comes to the tournament, good, bad, or ugly. We haven't had a lot of Cinderellas. You had High Point pull off a big upset in the first round, and right. Other than Iowa knocking off Florida, it's been a lot of chalk. Everybody's going to talk bad about the SEC and that the Big Ten did what they did. Really, your buzzer beater by Vandy, which was 7/8 of the way down, and then popped back out from knocking off a Big Ten team, and then Florida as well. Texas made a good run. Alabama made a good run. I'm checking my app real quick. I think, Auburn plays tomorrow. They really do. It's the Final Four tomorrow.
Hey, man, we got a couple of good buzzer beaters out of it, though.
We did.
Look at what
the Duke
UConn just did.
Right. And I think that showed a lot and I'm waiting for the cries to hear about Jon Sumrall there with the Blue Devils, because, we heard for Kentucky for years that Calipari and the one-and-done system wouldn't work. And it only worked really one time with Anthony Davis to get as far as Kentucky did get with a lot of teams that were very good, but it just didn't show up in March. So I'm kind of waiting to hear that this one-and-done system that Jon Sumrall and the Blue Devils have kind of worked through the last couple of years. And, back to Coach K, they did it with them too, but it was a little different. And, waiting to hear that this system won't work, and I'm waiting for them to abandon ship of that.
Well, I'll say this. First of all, let's take a second and talk about by far not only the greatest game of the tournament so far, but by far the greatest basketball game of this season. UConn down, I believe, 19.
Yeah.
Comes storming back. I had written them off. I was done. All of a sudden, I get a notification of, hey, close ball game. And I'm like, okay, well, let's see. Duke completely I won't use the phrase I want to use, the Amber Heard, as they did. And all they got to do is inbound it and hold it. It's 10 seconds. You're not going to get a 10-second violation. UConn has to foul you at some point. You go to the free throw line. I understand, Boozer, who's a great player, he's going to be a first-round NFL player, and the other Boozer, who's probably going to be a first-rounder as well, saw 2 wide-open Duke players at the other end of the court, slam dunk, they're up 4, game's over, moving on to the Final Four. And then, playing Illinois, and the pass got blocked. One of the best shots of the year. Technically wasn't a buzzer beater, but that game was amazing. But you say with the one and dones, I think what a lot of these teams are starting to pick up and put down with college basketball, what your Alabama has done the last few years, what teams like Michigan have done, what Arizona has done, is you've got to build a team, and then you've got to bring in 1 or 2 pieces towards that one or done that are great talents, and put them on the court with a actual built program, and go from there.
Well, I mean, you think back to we always reference Kentucky. You think about their 2011, 2012 championship, whichever one that was. They had Anthony Davis. They had the premier one and done guy, right? But they also had Darius Miller on that team, senior. They also had Patrick Patterson on that team, junior.
And Kid Gilchrist too.
Kid Gilchrist was freshman.
Yeah, Kid Gilchrist is a one and done though.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is you had some experienced folks.
Yeah, you got to.
You did.
With
Yeah,
Patrick Patterson and Darius Miller, and really, Darius Miller. I mean, he was the heart of that team. He was a 3 guard, and he would shoot the threes. But when it come down to that senior leadership on the court, he was that guy. And and I'm just like you, Rich. That's what I'm seeing now with all these teams. They build it. They'll have a couple of one and dones on the team.
Right.
But, man, mostly it is through it's been a little bit through the transfer portal, okay? But they bring in these guys that are 4th, 5th, 6-year seniors.
And the transfer portals that they're bringing in are these 4 and 5-year guys.
Yeah.
So you may not have brought them up in your, with your jersey on, but they've stood the test of time. They've shown that they can go out there and play. They can go and play under the big lights. That's my biggest love of college basketball versus an argument we've had about expanding the playoff in college football. With it being a guaranteed 64 teams, 68 make the tournament, Alabama's schedule for this year was ridiculous. We played Purdue, we played Houston, we played we played in Chicago. We've played anybody and everybody that'll lace up some Nikes and go out on the court. And that builds a team that's then ready when March comes. And we ran into a buzzsaw with Michigan that, we won the first half, as my mom pointed out. But don't know if you know this or not. The second half is just as important.
But you also had your best player get busted for 2 pounds of weed. So, I mean, that has a lot to do with it.
For the record, 2.1 pounds. And
I mean, the state of Alabama, guess what? Felony.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Oh,
yeah.
And the second, technically he's the second best player, but what's really going to kill him is the last I heard, there was some looking into his cell phone, and it was for personal use may
turn into distribution.
May not necessarily allegedly he may have been purchasing for other people. Let's say it that way.
Within the program.
Guys, a lot of things.
Bad look for Bama. Bad look for
things
Bama.
to discuss tonight on the Off the Bench College Football Show as we get more deep into it. If you have any questions or comments about what we're talking about, hit us up here on YouTube in the comments section. You can also hit us up on Facebook if you'd like to as well, at Off the Bench, and go ahead and give us a follow while you're over there. You can do the same here on YouTube. Follow, share the show. It all helps us out. Or you can send us a message about something you want to talk about. We'll discuss it with you, feature you right here on the show tonight. So another thing that has happened this week, of course, North Carolina having their searching of their new head coach. And this one's a little bit different because UNC is finally acting like a modern blue blood. Their search is about the best winner and not just the family fit for North Carolina, which is what a lot of people think they need to do in this new era of NIL, the portal, and really everything that North Carolina hasn't really done well with last couple of years. They're trying to hit it this hard. And we've heard names like Nate Oates and Tommy Lloyd both being mentioned for the job, but that's kind of publicly cooled off a little bit. Yeah. It seems like they've pushed back a lot from that. Lloyd said he's happy over at Arizona. He thinks that is one of the best jobs in the country and that he has no interest leaving Arizona over there. And Nate Oates has kind of said the same thing. He doesn't want to restart. He likes where he's at in Tuscaloosa. He's enjoyed the last couple of years. So it seems like Nate Oates is good where he's sitting at. But the name that I've heard the most out of this, and it's disappointing because I think this is what's going to happen, especially what's going on with the Chicago Bulls right now. Billy Donovan, I think, is going to be the next head coach in North Carolina.
First of all, it must be fun being an Alabama fan when every time there's an opening for any position whatsoever, it's Kalen DeBoer, it's Nate Oates, Last time I checked, I think Nate Oates is going to be coaching the Pittsburgh Steelers, and he's a basketball coach. They keep bringing up every Alabama coach to go take every open position.
Kentucky heard the same thing for years with Calipari, and we always said that it would never happen. Cal would never leave Kentucky, and guess what? He broke Wildcats fans' heart and left and went to Arkansas.
I also saw headlines of Calipari's name on it this week for North Carolina.
I haven't seen a lot that have been taken seriously. But then again, I also saw some Michael Jordan rumors, but I think those were shut down real quick.
But I mean, the whole piece with oh my gosh, I just went blank.
Billy Donovan.
Billy Donovan. I mean, if he can do what he did in Florida at North Carolina, win back-to-back championships, I mean, he's got a legacy he's built wherever he's gone. I mean, high five to North Carolina. Get back to kicking ass and taking names in the state and make Duke your little brother again.
And definitely, I feel like it would be a good pickup for North Carolina. I just wonder if it's the right fit. For them, they do. He didn't coach under this.
This new NIL era,
the era that we're currently in.
Transfer portal a new roster every year.
Billy Donovan has been in the NBA where it's mostly treated like that. I mean, there's truly not much of a difference between the NBA and roster building.
There's one big difference.
What?
Hi, here's a contract. You can't leave for 5 years.
That's the difference. In college, all you got to do is sue and say you're out with this new thing of unenrolling in school and just going forward. But there's just been a law. There's been a new rule passed about that just happened right before the show, and we're going to cover it Saturday. I think it's called something about blanket transfers or something like that.
Okay.
We're going to get into that more on Saturday when I have time to read through it. But what I'm scared about with North Carolina when they're going through this, because they just hired a guy that was their real home run big hire in their football program. And it hasn't turned out like a lot of people hoped it would with Bill Belichick. Okay. But the problem I see is they're going to have a guy come in for an interview and he's going to do great at the interview. He's going to hit a home run. Okay. And they're going to hire this celebrity hire. I don't know who the name's going to be, but they're going to go after a celebrity hire and they're going to get that celebrity hire. But the problem that I see with that is you're not going after a modern roster building head coach like a Nate Oates would have been, like a Tommy Lloyd would have been. Okay. There's a difference between these big names that we hear. Okay. If you were to hear a JJ Redick coming in and he's the big hire, he's getting it done, a Mo Williams, right? Somebody with a lot of name credibility from their playing days, but they don't really have the experience of head coaching and actually roster building and recruiting, transfer portal, any of that stuff. I worry that North Carolina is going to take it into a direction that's actually going to hurt them in the long run again, like this Bill Belichick hire has done with them.
Well, I mean, my stance on Bill Belichick is very well documented on this this particular radio program and YouTube. I think he's way way over his skis. I don't think he's that great of a head coach, and I think every day he's proven it more and more.
Well, I'm with you. I just don't think that, with Bill Belichick, how that's turned out, going toward the future, if they really try to act like and take the same direction they went with their football program when hiring a basketball coach, I don't think it's going to turn out in a great way. And I get Belichick was a North Carolina family guy. He had ties to North Carolina through his dad, okay? Yeah. They're kind of opening up the search a little bit, going after a whole different direction. But there's too many similarities that I see with this, and they're trying to, if they don't get the guys that are in college that are the big name head coaches, which Blue Bloods have kind of struggled at the last couple of years of actually getting a top guy. I worry that they're going to go after a guy that has name recognition, but really doesn't have the experience to actually guide a team up to the national championship. I'm surprised we don't see guys, and I understand that he just signed a new contract with St. John's, but I'm surprised we don't see a Patino type guy up there.
I mean, come on. Billy Donovan has won 2 national championships, and he did it back-to-back at Florida.
And I'm not saying,
I know it's a different era.
Yeah.
The guy knows how to coach basketball.
I understand that.
He knows how to draw up plays in a timeout.
I think Billy Donovan would be the right hire.
Yeah.
I think he's a guy that can go out there and actually build a program and build a roster and handle the portal, a guy that hasn't been around the portal at all. I think he is a guy that can do that. My worry is if they go after a different guy with just name recognition without the experience, like Bill Belichick is.
I mean, first of all, Bill Belichick has more experience than,
but not in college ball,
right?
Not this era.
But Billy Donovan won back-to-back national championships 20 years ago.
My point is the man still knows how to coach basketball. He still knows how to take 18, 19, and 20-year-olds and mold them as a team, and take that ball up and down the court for 94 feet. He knows how to do that. He's proven he can do that on a national stage. He proved he can do it in back-to-back in the SEC. You know, that's my point. Okay, I get it. It was 20 years ago, and he's been playing the NBA game for the last 20, not playing, but around the NBA environment for the last 20 years. But it's still X's and O's on the basketball court. It's still taking the ball up and down the court for 94 feet, and he knows how to coach 18, 19, and 20-year-olds. In this area, he's got to do more like 19, 20, 24-year-olds, but still, he knows how to mold a team.
I understand that. I think Billy Donovan would be a very good hire for North Carolina. I'm just not 100% it would happen.
You brought up blue bloods,
right,
in basketball. I first of all, I found this stat to be absolutely amazing. Do you know the last time a Big Ten team won the college basketball tournament?
Don't say it's Michigan, Fab Four.
No. That's a lot closer to the correct answer than you want it to be.
Really?
Yeah. The last Big Ten team to win was 2000 Michigan State.
Oh, man, that would have been Izzo. Oh, that would have been what's his name? Was that Draymond?
2000 Michigan State.
Yeah.
No, that can't be Draymond Green. That's way before them.
Did Denzel Valentine not win a championship in his time there with Michigan State?
Yeah, I was sitting there thinking that Draymond Green won one at Michigan State, and that would have been like 2010 maybe.
Valentine would have been about 8 years after that.
I don't know.
I mean, you had North Carolina win one in 17 with Roy Williams.
Was that Justice Jackson on that team?
I believe so. Yes.
Yeah.
But I mean, other than that, other than UConn, who's just been stupid amazing. Shout out to Dan Hurley and the craziness that is that head coach.
Yeah.
He's
cocky son of a gun.
I
think Dan Hurley
is it cocky when you win?
That's a Dan Hurley response right there. Is it cocky when you win? Just Google me, right?
He's so good at his job that I think he's kind of bored with it almost. I get that vibe from Dan Hurley. He's so pumped up on game, but he almost looks bored at the same time.
He is the Nick Saban of college basketball right now.
100% agree.
No, dude, I think he's the Indiana head coach.
Cignetti?
I think he's Cignetti.
Cignetti.
Is Cignetti enough to compare somebody to yet?
No,
he's not.
And Hurley's got more excitement in his left pinky toe than
all right.
I did see the Cignetti clip a couple of days ago. He was talking about Nick Marsh, and he chewed his ass over wearing gold cleats.
Yes.
And this was a very Nick Saban-esque thing to do. And Cignetti made it clear, I don't know what you did at Michigan State, but you ain't doing it here. No gold cleats on this program.
Wow.
It's very Saban-esque.
I mean, if you learn from the best, why not
act like the best? Why not be the best?
All right, guys, we are a college football show after all. So I've compiled a list of names about some head coaches. Some are first-year head coaches. Some are head coaches that really need to get it done, or else their job could be in jeopardy this year. So first-year head coaches meaning first-year head coaches at their respective jobs, right? Yeah. So first up, Alabama and Kalen DeBoer.
Next.
No, he's not a first-year coach.
He's not a first-year coach.
He's third-year coach.
Third-year coach.
He's not on the hot seat.
Not on the hot seat.
Not warm. It's not even.
But this season could go south very quickly if a couple things do not happen. You got to let this QB room settle first. Okay? This QB room doesn't settle by the time Alabama reaches their death row of games. If you don't know who the starter is between Keelan and Austin Mack by the end of the first month, this Alabama team's going to be in trouble.
Well, I do think they have the luxury of like the days of Tua and Jalen Hurts. I really do feel like you're in that kind of scenario. That quarterback room in Alabama right now might be one of the best quarterback rooms in college football.
Yeah, you got two freshmen coming in freshmen that are going to be amazing.
And you got Jet Tyler, whatever his name is.
Jet Tamalia.
Okay. What's crazy about that quarterback room, man, they're big. The shortest person in that room is freaking Keelan Russell was 6'5".
Yeah.
The rest of them are 6'6", 6'7". but it's really stereotypical of what DeBoer did at Washington with his quarterbacks. I mean, that's where Mac came from,
Right.
you know, and then look at when Penix was there. I mean, they have big quarterbacks, okay? But I'll tell you what, the thing that I am going to can't wait to see, and, you know, if you look at every analyst in the country with Bama, it's you got to run the ball. You got to run the ball, okay? I think you're going to run the ball, but I mean, their starting quarterback starting running back at this point has lost like 18 pounds. He's built like a brick. Can't say that word. But man, I'm really waiting to see what they're going to do running the ball. And there seems to be some consistency already with their offensive line. I mean, they've named the center, they've named the left tackle, they moved Michael Carroll to guard. So I'm excited about it. And another thing that Bama's going to have the best in college football next year, although they're ranked number 11 in that preseason whatever poll they already put out, is they will have the best defensive backfield in college football. No question about it.
I'm excited to see what DeBoer does with these quarterbacks. I was doing a little bit of research earlier today, and what he's been able to do so far with folks like Penix, who you know ended up in the NFL first round, but it's not doing anything. He comes to Alabama. He's got Milroe, kind of there. Milroe does decent. Ends up drafted
Super Bowl.
The backup quarterback for the Super Bowl champions. Now then you get Ty. Ty looks like he's going to go mid-late first round. All it takes is one GM to fall in love with him, and he's high first round.
I just hope he's not going to be the quarterback for the Jets, man.
Well, I think for this one, for Alabama specifically right here, though, going into this season, once you get that quarterback, that quarterback room figured out, right? If you get that stabilized between the first couple of weeks, you're looking at a 10-2 season, I think, with a college football playoff contention. Okay, but at the same time, if you wait to get that, if that offense is still inconsistent, the quarterback play still fighting it out, still inconsistent by the Georgia, Tennessee, Texas A&M, LSU stretch, it's going to be a scary thing for the Tide, because you're looking at not really last season, but the year before that with Milroe, where they really couldn't get the quarterback room okay. Milroe didn't seem like he was the quarterback that time. So if it's the case going into next year and you have that same situation going later into the year, it's going to be a weird run where you might sneak out of it 9-3, which would be a disappointing season for DeBoer. That's why I say on a downslope this year, DeBoer could be on the hot seat if he gets that third or fourth loss.
You said 9-3?
Yeah.
Okay. So I just pulled it up because I knew we were headed there. So I went ahead and pulled it up in front of me. According to some of those hotels out in the desert, some of Terry Benedict's casinos,
right?
The University of Alabama. Do you know what their over/under for win total is for the season?
I don't off the top of my head.
9-5.
5?
8.5.
Ooh, full point off. 8.5 wins.
There's only two teams in the SEC with a better win-loss total.
It's going to be Texas and LSU.
Texas and Georgia are both at 9.5. No SEC school has a 10.
Wow,
a 10 or more.
So can I put this scenario in front of you? So is that city out west? Then are they saying that we're going to beat up on one another in the SEC?
That appears to be what it is. So I mean, if I was to ask y'all right now, obviously April 1st, 2026, we are barely into spring, as you pointed out at the beginning of this telecast. Who's the top two teams in the SEC?
On paper?
Top two teams in the SEC on paper right now.
If you were going to rank them right now, who's 1 and 2?
It's Georgia and Texas.
All right. Who's 3 and 4?
Ole Miss is 3. With the addition back of Chambliss, Ole Miss is 3. And I think 4 would be Bama sliding in there.
You think where's LSU sit with all
this
portal?
LSU, I'm not high on LSU right now. I think it's going to take them a little bit to figure it out. It might take them a year. It might take them 2.
And it's look at, I mean, okay, if you want to make that argument with LSU, you can make that same damn argument with Bama.
You have
flipped half the roster.
You have 70 new players on this LSU roster. 56 coming from the portal.
How many offensive linemen did Bama have coming back?
Not
they had one, Michael Carroll. He was a freshman.
Yeah.
and he's moved. He's
Yeah,
moved.
he just moved to right guard.
yeah.
He's moved over.
Yeah,
one
but
spot.
half of your running back crew is returning. Half your quarterback crew is returning. Half your wide receiver room is kind of new. It's more new. Okay,
We
this
didn't even talk about
defense.
Jadair Morgan.
This defense, you have a lot of returning guys on this defense. You have a lot of you have one freshman with maybe one or two freshmen that I think is going to start. You get a lot of returning guys on defense.
Okay,
You completely forgot a team. The only other team that-
Oklahoma.
Oh, Texas A&M.
Texas A&M's 8.5.
What about
Elko.
Oklahoma?
I would actually put Elko at 1.
Oklahoma, Tennessee, LSU are all at 7.5. Yeah.
So is this the year that the SEC?
Florida is at 7.5.
So is this year that the SEC kind of pulled what we've been talking about with like the Big Ten has been for the last couple of years? We got a very strong top half and a very weak lower half.
Well, who's your weak lower half? Mississippi State,
Mississippi State, Kentucky. I think Vandy's going to be in that.
Vandy's
area.
6.5 over.
Vandy.
So that's not. You're talking about
South Carolina.
I mean, look at but also Florida. I mean, we don't know what we're going to get at Florida Auburn.
Never know what you're going to get out.
Florida, I think, has a rough quarterback room. Auburn is
Florida
yeah,
is either going to be amazing and make the tournament.
I like
or be
Sumrall. I think
trash.
Sumrall was one of the best hires of the cycle. But at the same time, I think that Auburn is set up better roster wise than Florida because of Byrum Brown and what he did at USF, and you also have Golesh, who coached him at USF. Like,
yeah,
Well, I've completely hijacked your segment here, but since you brought up Auburn,
Yeah.
6.5.
okay,
According to those hotels out in the desert, wins. They're counting Baylor, USM, Florida, Vandy, Arkansas, Mississippi State, Stanford.
and that's Auburn's wins.
Losses at Tennessee, at Georgia, at Ole Miss, LSU, and at Bama.
so 6 and
100%
6.
agree. So
Eligible,
6 and 6, they'll be bowl eligible.
bowl eligible, yeah.
That's 7 wins.
So
That's
7 and 6.
'cause
Okay, bowl eligible.
it comes down to the Florida game
Yeah.
Yeah.
and the Arkansas game.
So the other night, Richie, Kelsey and I are out watching a concert, right? And we start talking with this guy who actually is a very good artist, and I'm forgetting his name.
The Jacob Jones. Jacob.
Up and comer in country music, right?
Yeah.
Strong
And-
last name.
Die hard Auburn fan. And we must have talked sports for 20 minutes standing there. And right. And he was trying his best to convince us that Auburn was 8-4 next year. And he was going through the roster and he was going through the schedule and he was like, win.
We'll have to get Mr.
Dude.
Jacob Jones on the show here.
He's very well spoken. Die-hard Auburn fan, man, knew Auburn football really well.
So for him to be right,
Yeah.
the two biggest that on this list of wins that they would have to be careful of is Baylor at a neutral site,
Right.
and Florida, and then they would have to win one of the two following games:
Tennessee.
at Tennessee, at Georgia,
Yeah.
at Ole Miss.
Where are they playing Florida at?
Florida's at home.
Home. Okay.
LSU and at Alabama. That's a
They got
lot.
a rough schedule.
That's a lot of ats. So Bama, they've got on here wins pretty much everything except for the losses: Georgia, Texas A&M, and LSU.
Well, I mean,
LSU loss.
That's what they have.
Are we in Baton Rouge or are we at home?
so I want to back up a little bit though, because when you were talking about Auburn, right? There's certain things that Auburn needs to do this year, okay? And I know we're removed from Hugh Freeze and now in the Alex Golesh era at Auburn, right? But there's stuff that could hang on from Hugh Freeze there, okay? DJ Durkin's still on the defense.
Yep.
Okay. That defense is going to be good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Always good.
Auburn defense is all they have to do is really do what they did last year, and they can take it off there, right? But the difference is Auburn this year has to be explosive on offense, and that's weird to say because what were they under Hugh Freeze? They were one of the most explosive teams.
Yeah.
But they weren't consistent.
Well, I was just about to go. They were
Yes.
explosive, but they would go for periods where it's like, what the hell? There's
But-
no
but-
consistency.
Yeah.
But there's differences here, okay? We're no longer in Peyton Thorne. No longer Peyton Thorne at quarterback. No longer under who was quarterback last year? Was that because you had the two freshmen. Deuce Knight didn't play. I'm gonna go blank on his name.
He was a transfer from freaking Oklahoma, wasn't he?
Oh, you're right.
Brown.
Arnold.
Yeah, Arnold.
Arnold.
Brown's there going to be there.
You had Arnold. Arnold's gone now. Okay, Byrum Brown is the new guy in-house now. Okay, he's a real dual threat quarterback option guy. Okay, so I think this Auburn offense is going to have that real explosive ability to where if they cannot pass the ball, Byrum Brown can take off.
So you
And he's got
drinking the
stats to
Kool-Aid
back
now?
off.
Is
Hold
Auburn
on.
going to be Vandy? And
Hold on.
you know? Yeah.
They have a hard stretch of games.
No.
Okay, we're not lying. Florida, Tennessee, Georgia, LSU, Ole Miss. They got to play Alabama, right?
Not just a tough stretch of games. A tough stretch of games against teams that have out recruited them.
100%.
Not by a little bit.
And out transfer portal them.
I don't care who the
miles.
quarterback is at Tennessee, whether it's McIntyre or it's who's Kiffin last year for Tennessee?
Not Hilton.
Not Joe Milton.
Man,
I go blank all day today.
All right, just yeah.
Anyways, okay. I don't care who the quarterback
Aguilar.
is. Aguilar. I don't care who the quarterback is at Tennessee. Okay, they're taking that loss. Okay. Georgia's going to be rough no matter what. Okay. I may not think that Gunnar Stockton can win a super or a high or I can't talk today at all, a national championship there, but he's definitely going to beat the Tigers. LSU. I don't think that even with Hugh or even with Lane Kiffin in his first year down there in Death Valley that he's going to lose.
You're not very high on, and we're going to have to unpack this box at a later statement. But you're not very high on LSU.
Why would it be high on LSU?
Okay,
their quarterback situation.
We spent months talking about the godly Lane Kiffin,
and he's not high on.
And he's not high on him.
Well, let's look at the quarterback situation for LSU. Okay,
let's come back to Auburn. We will unpack this LSU box.
We're going to go for it in a minute because it's on this list too.
Okay,
we're going to go for it in a minute. Okay. This offense at Auburn's going to be inconsistent to start off. Okay. Byrum Brown's going to take a little bit, get used to these players. Okay. This is not going to be a hit it and quit quick, right? Their schedule always is set up in a way that is good for them to kind of mock up a little bit, build up after that first win, build up after that second win, then the third. Auburn hadn't been able to do that. They didn't do it under Hugh Freeze. I don't think it's going to start like that under Alex Golesh. Eventually, this offense under Alex Golesh is going to look like an offense from USF or Tennessee. That's just what happens. Okay, so Auburn, not high on them. In a way, I think they're middle of the tier SEC this year. I'd say 6 or 7 wins.
Okay.
So I mean, I'm not going to, unfortunately, not going to disagree with you too terribly much on that. I think it really comes down to, like I said, that first game of the season against Baylor. Looks like it's at it's on a neutral site. It's in the Dome in Georgia. But really and truly, by week 4, we know who this Auburn team is. You've got Baylor on a neutral site, Southern Miss, Florida, Vandy. That's homecoming, by the way. Their homecoming is week 4 against Vandy. And then it goes at Tennessee, off at Georgia, LSU, at Ole Miss, Arkansas. And don't sleep on Arkansas after coming off of at Georgia, LSU, at Ole Miss. You're going to be, some hurt boys out there on the field. Then they get a little bit of a breather with at Mississippi State, Stanford before a trip to Tuscaloosa. So you're going to know ultimately who this Auburn team is by week 4.
All right, let's look at LSU then. Lane Kiffin, you want to know why I'm so kind of level playing field with him? I'm not drinking the Kool-Aid. I'm not high on him at all. I don't want the grass that Lane Kiffin's smoking down there. Okay, not the Mardi Gras grass. Okay.
Time out real quick.
Yeah.
To go off of a comment there, when Auburn and Tennessee play, can I pull for a meteor?
Can you pull for a what?
A meteor?
A meteor.
Auburn and Tennessee. We can all pull for a meteor
just
with Auburn and Tennessee. I'll put LSU in that boat too, okay?
All right, go ahead.
Everybody wants to sit here and say that LSU is going to be this godly team next year and that Lane Kiffin, his work, his portal magic, and his new dream job down at Baton Rouge. The quarterback situation over there is Sam Leavitt. Sam Leavitt was at Arizona State.
Yeah.
Okay. Played with Cam Scattaboo. All those guys were there. Leavitt had a good year last year.
So you got an experienced quarterback.
Experienced quarterback, okay? Kind of gave out on his team near the end of the year, but it looked like he was going to hit the portal. Leavitt does not know SEC football. He's been in the Big 12, okay? Yes, he had great numbers. He's got experience, okay? He's good. I'm not looking at an SEC quarterback. I'm looking at a guy that has played in the Big 12 the last couple of years. I'm not going to sit here before week 0 and say this guy's going to be in the Heisman contention because he has never played at that high level of the game in college football.
All right, schedule man. Who does LSU start with? Let's talk about the speed of the game.
All right, so LSU is 8.5 according to this. They have wins that they're counting their wins. Clemson, Louisiana Tech, Texas A&M, McNeese, at Kentucky, Mississippi State, at Auburn, Alabama, Texas, at Tennessee, at Arkansas. The only loss, according to this, they have is Lane's trip back home.
Ole Miss.
Maybe he can pick up his dog that he left.
So, but don't they start with Clemson?
They do.
Yeah, like week 1.
I
I remember when we were like going through that whole you pick the week you want, okay?
Yeah.
And that LSU Clemson game caught my attention.
Okay, this
So it is week 1 at I believe at Death Valley.
Right.
Like their Death Valley at home. It's in Baton Rouge.
Yeah, because
it's in Baton Rouge.
Yeah,
okay. But not only that, okay, they're playing Clemson, right? Okay, then you have Ole Miss, Chambliss. Okay, tough game. Okay, Lane knows so much about Chambliss, right? That's what's going to show him to play.
Here, I've got it in order for you. If you
okay, we'll go ahead.
Yeah. Week 2 is Louisiana Tech. Week 3, I don't care. We've talked about what game would you go to? What week? Week 3, I would be at the Grove. If we can do the show live from the Grove,
doing heartbeat.
Ole Miss, LSU, at that game's going to be.
It's going to be a night game.
Oh,
it's going to be.
It's got to be a night game.
Then they go to Texas A&M, McNeese, at Kentucky, Mississippi State, at Auburn, bye week, and then listen to this stretch: Alabama at home,
loss.
Texas at home,
loss.
At Tennessee,
loss.
At Arkansas,
win.
Yeah, but you're going to be, just like I said about Auburn, you're going to be some tired boys.
I think LSU's going to have to do what Bama did last year when they had a little remember that 4-week stretch where Bama was like, whoa.
Well, you got to go 3-1.
Probably one of the best teams in the country in that 4-week stretch Bama had last year.
Yeah.
And what Kels just said, they have to go 3-1.
That's
if
your
they
goal.
go 2-2, it's over.
Yeah. You focus on 3 games, okay? If you're going to lose a game, you're going to lose a game, but you have to take 3 out of those 4 games.
But they've got 2 of those stretches: Clemson, Louisiana Tech, at Ole Miss, Texas A&M. So that's a stretch of 4.
Clemson right up top. You got Ole Miss right up top.
And then
they also play Texas, do they not?
Then that's the set. That's the back end
set. Yeah,
that second set: Alabama, Texas, at Tennessee, Arkansas. You've got to go. You've got to go 2-2 in those last 4.
Murderer's row. You have to. Okay. Like I said, I'm not high on this LSU team because they have one of the toughest schedules in the country, okay? And we all know that they're not going to reward them for only having 3 losses, for only having 4 losses, okay? You're on 3 losses, you're on the bubble. You have 4 losses,
you're out.
It doesn't matter how good your schedule was. You're not getting in.
Even with a 32-man team playoff, Richie, they might get in if you have 32.
Right? I mean,
okay, let me play devil's advocate for a second.
Yeah.
They beat Clemson at home. Right,
week 1, it's a possibility.
Week 1,
yeah.
They beat Clemson.
They get the second week.
Yep.
They split at Ole Miss or Texas A&M. They win 1, they lose 1.
So they're 3-1.
Okay, you with me?
Yep.
A loss to Alabama and Texas, and they win everything else. They're a 3-loss team.
So they're
Their
like
3 losses are Alabama, Texas, and Ole Miss and Lane's.
And next year's.
So you don't think they lose to A&M?
12.
You don't think they lose to A&M?
3 losses.
I'm asking a hypothetical here.
Okay.
That's when we get done to the end of the season.
Yeah.
However many weeks or months from today, we look back at LSU's schedule. They lost in Lane's trip home because Ole Miss was just fired up, ready to roll.
Too ready for the game.
They were ready for the game.
Yep.
So, but they come back and beat Texas A&M at home. Then they went on their bye. I'll even go this, as much as it pains me to say this. They get their bye week, and they beat Alabama at home, lose to Texas, and then at Tennessee, but beat Arkansas. They're 9-3 with wins over Clemson, Alabama, A&M.
Let me tell you what team that reminds me of from last year. 2 teams.
Okay.
One would be Texas.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay, Texas 9-3. They probably playing some of the best football
Yeah,
in the
but
country
Texas-
at the time. At
Texas-
the end of the season, and then they did not make the playoffs.
But Texas didn't have a great schedule.
Okay.
They
And
weren't
Texas-
strong
All
in
right,
schedule.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
That I'm thinking about that 9-3.
Right. Okay.
And then
right,
Notre
yeah.
Dame's the same way. I mean, and Notre Dame we know didn't have the schedule. Okay, but they still they struggled up front. They got strong at the end. Okay, and that's what happens when you get 3 losses.
My only disagreement with you on the Texas side,
Yeah.
one of Texas's losses was to a really bad Florida team.
At
That would be
home.
the equivalent of them losing against Mississippi State at home and still,
So let's move out of the SEC for a little bit. Let's look at another team that I think if you don't win this year, if you're this coach, you're either fired or you are on the hot seat. Let's look at USC and Lincoln Riley. This is one of those weird ones, okay? Because Lincoln did terrible staff making decisions when he first got hired at USC. At one point, he was labeled the future of college football of head coaching.
I wanted him.
You wanted him in Dallas.
I wanted him at Bama.
At Bama, one or the other, right? Okay, but here's the problem. He made poor defensive hiring.
Who's got the number 1 recruiting
start.
class for next year?
It's USC. I get that 100%. You can have the number 1 recruiting class all day,
They're 1, Bama's 2.
but if you've had the seasons that USC has had the last couple of years with the disappointment that they have had with Lincoln Riley, I don't think a number 1 recruiting class is going to save you.
Well, it's not going to because you got young players coming in.
Well,
what
yeah.
USC has to do, their defense has got to get better.
Well, the last year with Miller Moss, we thought he was going to be a Heisman candidate and they were going to make the playoff and all these great things were going to happen. It didn't happen, okay? But their problem isn't their offense, it's their defense. They have a returning Jade Maavia at quarterback. He is going to be good for a Big Ten school. That is the type of quarterback you want over there for USC. But the defense has to improve for Lincoln Riley, or else I think he's out the door.
And they need to go play in the MAC if they expect to win. I mean, you're going to play in the Big Ten and you're going to get your ass.
Well, I mean, they have Oregon, Washington, Penn State, Ohio State, and Indiana. They got to play this year. So, I mean,
okay.
Penn State's got to bounce
if
back
they went
with
to
Matt
the
Campbell.
MAC or the All-American Conference or the MAC, they'd be perfect.
Here we go. This will be fun. All right. They start the season with a powerhouse, San Jose State at home.
Oh,
Wasn't San Jose one of those schools we were talking about like a month ago? Oh, that was Sacramento State. Never
Sacramento
mind.
State.
Sorry.
now-
Yeah.
yeah.
Week 2, they play a powerhouse Fresno State.
So they're 2-0.
Hey, Fresno State, don't hurt on them. They're now a Pac-12 team. They are a Power 5 team.
At home
At one
again
time.
with the Raging Cajuns week 3.
Secretly good team down there in Louisiana.
So you think they go 2-1 through those 3?
No, they're 3-0.
No, they're
3-0.
3. Yeah.
Okay.
Then they get to go on the road. Probably the longest road
Penn State,
conference road game at
Rutgers.
4-0.
I was sitting there thinking about geography. It's Rutgers.
Yeah, Rutgers.
Because they're in New Jersey. Yeah.
They come back. So they're what? What do we say? 4-0. Then they come back and they're at home for Oregon.
That's an L.
Okay, that's a loss.
That's an L.
The following week, homecoming against Washington.
That could be an L, man.
I think it's an L.
Preseason 19th in the country.
Yeah.
Well,
Then
they've I forget the coaches. Finch, is that the coach over there? Finch,
Oh, they got that
Washington.
quarterback coming
if they were to win one of those two, they then get to go on the road and play in a whiteout
at Penn State.
at Penn State.
Matt Campbell and
So they went
Loss,
4.
loss.
Let's
That's a loss.
picture this. I think this is probably the one of the most ones that's visually like it's clear, man. So they go 4-0,
Yep.
and then they got 3 straight L's, and they're out of the top 25.
They get a bye week. Then they're at Wisconsin, unranked.
That's a win.
yeah, I'll give them a win there.
That's cute. Let's give them that win because they're going to need it. Because the following week, Ohio State comes to town.
That's another game I'd like to be at, man. USC. So
I
they're
would-
going to
USC's
Rose
losing
Bowl.
that game.
Well,
USC's
my
losing
point,
that
it'd
game.
just be a great.
No, it would.
The atmosphere would be great.
They get another bye week, which is well deserved because the following week they go at Indiana,
They're done. They're going to be.
All right, so
they're
we're
gonna be-
looking at 5-5 right now.
Maryland,
That's a win. So 6-5.
Are they at Maryland and they got to travel the country again?
home for Maryland.
Okay, 6-5.
And then since they took the longest road trip
That's
you can
shortest.
they get to take the shortest road trip and head up the interstate to UCLA for their final game of the season.
Dude, they might not make a playoff.
They might be 6-6.
Well, I
Not
think
just
they- I
not
think
make a
they could-
playoff.
I
They
think
may
they
be
could
barely bowl eligible.
I think they at 5 and 7, you supposedly got to win 6 games to make the bowl, but we saw how that worked out this year.
Well, okay. So we also have to realize there was a reason that USC, that Lincoln Riley never wanted to. There's a reason why he left Oklahoma. It's because he knew the plans that Oklahoma was going to go to the SEC. I don't think Lincoln ever could survive the SEC.
Well,
So he moved out west to the Pac-12,
And they
thought he
moved.
could, and they moved into a harder conference.
And
Maybe Lincoln's just not a head coach. Maybe he's an offensive coordinator.
no,
I mean,
I'll take Lincoln
he could
Riley.
go and be Belichick's offensive coordinator, and then they could both suck.
I
isn't
would
isn't Lincoln Riley's brother the OC for North
I
Carolina?
think so.
Garrett Riley? Oh, he may be at Clemson.
He's like, yeah,
He's at Clemson.
yeah.
He's at Clemson. That's right.
He could move back closer to home.
So USC could be a tough year. Lincoln, I think he's a hot seat guy. If not, he
And
doesn't. If
you were
he's
saying
not
they're the number one
mid-season, it is
recruiting
the
class
end.
next year.
Yeah, next year.
Yes, next year.
If they go 6-6, they are not the number one recruiting class next year.
Ooh.
Yeah, the thing
True.
that they have is they have NIL money.
They
and,
do, yes.
and it's recruiting money, and they've got it. Okay, and Bama has just been
Here's-
pulling off some wins. On the
Here's going to
recruiting
be their
side.
biggest problem with NIL.
Yeah,
Do you know Matt Stafford won the MVP of the Super Bowl, right? Do you know what his tax bill was for winning the MVP?
oh, because
It was more than what his bonus
So
was.
you're saying, yeah, you're right. But what you're saying is the money that is actually on paper
they're going to
And-
get taxed.
in California is going to
Yeah.
get taxed so much that
Yeah.
it pretty much gives them the same amount of NIL funds as Alabama.
I
It's
never
somebody
thought
else.
about the
Yeah.
damn college guys paying
And
that.
I hadn't
jocks
thought about
tax.
that.
If-
Yeah.
If I'm correct,
Do the college guys pay the jocks tax?
yeah, because they live in California. From what I understand, and I could be completely wrong. If you're a tax expert, please
Yeah.
call 1-800. What I don't. We don't have a.
We don't
hotline.
have a hotline
Um,
yet. Yeah.
The NFL, you're taxed wherever the game is. So even if
Right.
you're a Tennessee Titan who doesn't play an income tax, when you play at, the Rams,
Chargers.
Yeah.
yeah, you pay the taxes of that state. So you may have what 8-9 tax bill,
Yep.
taxes that come in when you do your thing. So, but the NIL is all. It's not paid based upon game.
I've never thought about that one.
So if you get a $1 million NIL deal, it ain't worth but $500,000-$600,000.
So
So you would think that Tennessee and Texas, I'm trying to think of
Florida.
non-state taxes. Yeah, Florida, they would all have an advantage when it
Yeah.
comes to that. I don't think I've ever heard that brought up.
So let's look at two more schools, and then we're going to get out of here for the night before my head explodes from these, Alabama, North Alabama allergies, right?
Yep.
So look at maybe one of our favorite coaching hires in this cycle would be James Franklin at Virginia Tech.
Yep.
All right. This is one I am high on, very high on Virginia Tech. I think he's got a chance to make noise in his first season over there at Blacksburg. Okay. He brought in Ethan Grunkemeyer. Okay. Grunkemeyer has Big Ten experience.
Yeah.
Okay. Grunkemeyer has very successful Big Ten experience. Putting him in ACC play, it's going to be a good wrap up there. The schedule there is light for Virginia Tech. You're facing a half week, maybe 2 or 3 teams that are good in the ACC.
Are you playing Miami and Clemson?
All right, you ready?
Let's go for it. Let's go for it.
VMU,
Win.
Win.
Old Dominion,
Win.
at Maryland,
Win.
at Boston College,
Win.
Pitt.
You don't know.
Oh.
You just don't know.
That's the first early toss-up game I would give them.
So give,
Unranked Pitt, currently unranked.
give them 4-1. Just
We'll go 4-1 conservative.
yeah.
I tell you what, just to be fair, I'll go 5-1 at Cal. Even if they drop one of those 2 games,
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
If their
Yeah.
first real road game all the way to
Give
California,
or take. Yeah. Okay.
Georgia Tech,
Ooh.
Don't know.
Brent Key over there. Let's
at
say conservative with him.
at Clemson,
It all depends on if they get the team together. You know.
Yeah. I mean, the Clemson game's kind of a toss.
Hear me out here. Clemson doesn't lose at home. I mean, they don't. They had that one stretch where they just didn't lose, but they have in the last couple of years.
But let's just we have not seen the hardest coaching that Clemson has had to see the last couple of years would be from Mario Cristobal.
And how'd that work out for him?
Yeah, I know, and that's true. So exactly what I'm saying. You bring a guy that's used to Big Ten playing teams, also a guy that has never won the big one.
Yeah.
Okay, Franklin has never pulled that off.
And at that point, still doesn't have to. You get a bye week, Halloween Day, Saturday, October 31st is their bye week.
Yep.
At number 17 preseason SMU,
Ooh,
who could be SMU could be real good this year.
okay.
Well, they could be really good because they got us off schedule.
Stanford at home, and
That's a
then
win.
Friday, November 20th at Coral Gables in the Miami Hurricane.
Ooh.
And then the final game of the season, which I'm sure there's some sort of cool name for this one, but Virginia.
So hell, I'm seeing 2 losses, man.
Is that the,
Two, maybe
the,
three
yeah.
at most.
is that the Governor's Cup?
Is
You
it?
know, and
That would-
so
Maybe that may be Louisville and Kentucky. I'm thinking of.
So, hey, real quick, Kels, on the
Yeah.
socials, Carl says, hey, we need to live in a world where tech is good.
I look. I wasn't alive for the days of
I was.
Coach. I'm gonna go blank on his name now. Coach
Beamer.
Beamer over there.
Gamer ball, maybe. You know?
Coach Beamer over there. I wasn't alive for the days of
Special
Coach Beamer.
teams extraordinaire.
Coach Frank Beamer, I wasn't there for that. So I'd like to see a Virginia Tech heyday. I think Franklin has the ideal opportunity to do it. He's a program builder. He can build them from where they're at. He could have built them from the ground up to the top. I think, Franklin has the ability to do that. Question is just, what can he do in his first year? What is going to click in his first year?
What does Franklin have to his advantage of recruiting people to Virginia Tech? Okay. What Beamer always had was Beamer was really good at drawing from the DC, Maryland, Hampton Roads area.
You don't think
all because of Michael, the Vic boys came from there.
Right.
Well, in Franklin, you don't think he has that? He probably has those chips up there.
I'm sure.
Being up there in Pennsylvania, he probably has those chips in that area.
Well, when you look at the VT in its heyday, and if you
Right.
look at their roster, man, it was that little area, that little triangle of an area. Half the team came from the Hampton Roads,
Yes,
Virginia area.
Yeah.
Okay. They were a quote criminal team for a reason, but man, athletic as can be, and man, their special teams during Beamer ball, it was unbeatable. You couldn't beat special teams.
Right.
To answer the question, Virginia Tech does have a name, and I am personally going to take it as a plan this year to change the name of this rivalry because it's terrible.
Okay.
The Commonwealth Clash.
That's good.
That's terrible.
I agree
have a
with.
problem.
I don't agree with Richie on much, but I'm with him on this.
I don't
one.
have a problem with that. The Virginia Commonwealth, the Commonwealth Clash. I don't have an issue.
You could okay. Let's see. Louisville and Kentucky could do that same thing because they're both from the Commonwealth of Kentucky.
I think they do the Governor's
Red
Cup.
River
They do the
rivalry.
Governor's Cup.
Red River. It's not the Red River rivalry.
Right, Red River Shootout.
It's a Red River shootout on this show. Never will be referred to as the Red River rivalry.
I mean, even the Apple Cup sounds cooler than the Commonwealth Clash.
Well, we no longer. Well, we don't.
Hey
have
Bob, are you going to the Commonwealth Clash?
What was the?
Is that the dirt? What's
What is
the derby where they take the crappy cars and run into each other?
The Pinewood Derby.
No,
the crappy
no.
cars running into each
Talking
other.
about like a derb. Whatever. I know what you're talking
Yeah.
about.
What
Richie.
was it? Wasn't the Apple Cup before it was the Apple Cup? Wasn't that the Civil War?
Yes,
Okay,
that was a
that's
better
what I
game.
thought.
But
Yes, that- yeah.
Can't
yeah.
use that no more, man.
Yeah.
I think the Commonwealth Clash sounds like it's little people wrestling in Athens, Alabama. It's like, come on now.
All right. What else you got, Kelsey?
All right, guys.
You got 7 minutes. man.
Last team that we're going to talk about tonight, and it's the defending national championships, the Indiana Hoosiers. What do they bring this year? No longer a Fernando Mendoza-led team. A lot of guys gone from this team. You have a Nick Marsh transferring over from Michigan State. He's a highly touted wide receiver, expected to do some good things this year. The issue I have with this team is everybody was going crazy with it during the transfer portal. Cignetti's reloading. Cignetti can build this team back up. Cignetti has the youth and talent to do it. I disagreed heavy, and I still do. Are we really going to act like a Josh Hoover from Texas Christian University has the same talent as a Fernando Mendoza and can replicate what Curt Cignetti did last year in the Big Ten? Okay, he is going to run into issues that there's going to be teams that are better than him this year. Okay.
What's that schedule look like, Richie? Because if I remember right, Indiana's got the softest of the Big Ten schedule again this year.
I do not think they have as soft a schedule as you think.
Last year, their schedule was absolutely
soft.
ridiculous.
Well, my only argument with you is, did any of us know who Mendoza was?
No.
And people, you know who Josh Hoover. I mean, Josh Hoover had a good year in the Big 12 last year. Okay, again, I talk about
man. You just don't like the Big 12, man. I like 12 better than 10 all day long. I'm playing with
the only thing that the only team in the Big 12 right now that I'll actually say that could tend with an SEC school is Texas Tech, and it's because they have the money to do it. They also brought in Brandon Swordsby from a Cincinnati team.
Arizona State.
Man, I cannot believe
Arizona State's kind of hit or miss.
Spending all this time talking about Indiana, and we haven't even talked about one school, which I think. Never mind. We won't. We'll get
Michigan.
To it.
So Indiana's schedule.
With Kyle Whittingham.
Yeah.
Indiana's schedule. Let's play along here.
Yeah.
North Texas.
That's a win.
Okay.
Howard.
That's a win.
Okay.
The Hilltoppers of Western Kentucky.
That's a win.
The Smart Kids from Northwestern.
Yep.
Another win. That's 4-0.
No Fitzgerald there anymore. He's now at Michigan State.
At Rutgers.
Oh, there we go. We're 5-0.
At Nebraska.
Oh my God, give me a
Matt Rule could come out of the woodworks.
Okay, so we're bowl eligible.
They're 6-0. They're the number one.
We're
team
6-0. Okay, hold on.
They're number one, defending national champ, 6-0.
That's cute, right?
Whoever the quarterback is, he's putting up 400 yards a game.
Duly noted, I have not set a bye week yet.
Right.
Okay.
6-0. Week 7. Ohio State comes to town.
At Indiana?
At Indiana.
Ohio State's the most talented team in the country. They'll win.
Week 8 at Michigan.
So you're doing Ohio State back-to-back with Michigan.
Week 9, Minnesota.
That's a win.
They finally get a bye week.
Okay.
Your reward, USC comes to town.
All right, that's a win.
Then you get to travel all the way to Washington.
I'll toss that one.
Hold on. We keep saying win after win. You got to remember, this isn't going to be the same Indiana school that we saw last year.
They killed it in the portal, man.
I don't think they killed it. They're talking about killing it in the portal, and your headliner was Josh Hoover.
Last game of the season, the Old Oaken Bucket game against Purdue. Which, by the way,
they got 2 losses max. Max, Indiana has 2 losses.
I could say 3 with USC.
That's
I'm not saying that Cignetti
is going to
have this. I'm not saying Cignetti's going to have this historic drop off. Okay, I'm not saying that at all.
By the way, who did call for an historic drop off for this team?
I didn't.
Who did?
Did I do it?
That'd be this guy.
Yeah,
I believe I referred to them as the 20.
I don't think
LSU?
It's going to be historic drop off. What I do think is Cignetti is a phenomenal coach. Okay, he's going to have this team prepped. He's going to have them ready to limit turnovers, interceptions. They didn't make mistakes last year. I think that's going to be the same way this year, but I don't think they have the same talent they did last year.
Where the freaking frack is Oregon? I mean, let's just go through the Big Ten schools real quick. Where's Oregon in this schedule? Where's Penn State in this schedule?
Not there.
Okay, I mean, that's the one thing I'll say about LSU, Bama, Georgia. Man, we play each other every freaking year. Okay, and Cignetti's got this cherry pick schedule where he's playing freaking Rutgers and Northwestern and Western Kentucky. I mean, I love me some Hilltoppers, but damn.
And that's why I said there needs to be some sort of system inside each conference where if you were in the top half last season, you play.
There's a system in the Big Ten right now, okay, that spreads the wealth in a way of we're going to handpick teams to make the playoff.
Yeah, if you look at
the they've already said that.
That's what they do. That is exactly what they're doing.
If you look at the schedule right now, Indiana, Ohio State, and Oregon are in the 12.
If they have a team that they think is going to make the playoff, that they have the talent, they're going to give them the easiest cherry picker schedule in the country. That's just the way the Big Ten has ran things the last couple of years.
It's crazy to me that, and I think this will be another year where strength of schedule will come into play. Let's say Indiana has 2 losses going into this. I don't think they will. I think they'll be 6-0. They'll be the number 1 team in the country. Whoever's playing quarterback for them, they got the new receiver coming in. Is that one white boy receiver that would not drop a ball last year? Is he still there?
Yeah, I think he's still there.
Okay. I mean, dude, all you got to do is put the ball in his area and he's going to catch it. Okay, when you're playing teams like Rutgers, Western, you're going to run the numbers up. The quarterback's going to be passing for 400. I'm sure that I can't tell you a single running back on that team, but it's going to be a balanced attack. Cignetti, he'll make sure it is. They will be at the most 2-loss team.
Yeah, and if they're number 1 in the country with Ohio State coming to town, Ohio State may be 2 or 3, depending on what they do with Texas, week 1. So
what's Ohio State? Can you pull up Ohio State schedule real quick to see who they're playing before they play Indiana? This will be a number 1 and 2 in the country. It all depends also what Texas and Georgia has done as well.
So really and truly, it comes down to I think it's so Ohio State has Ball State at Texas, Kent State, Illinois, at Iowa, Maryland, at Indiana.
You have a Texas game before that.
Yeah, that's it. So even if they lose at Texas, they're still, 3-4 in the country?
Yeah. At
the rest of that schedule, because Texas is going to be – everybody's going to be like, oh, well, Texas is Texas is now the number 2 team in the country. Your only loss is the number 2 team in the country. That they literally –
Carl's calling us out on our BS, I think. He says, go back and listen to what you got said about Indiana before the game last year. That's good. That's a good one. That's a good one.
Carl, that video has been deleted from the internet.
Yeah,
so
man.
We can't do that. Sorry.
As a diehard Bama fan, Bama life, I think the sign says in the corner over there. Yeah, man, we're going to choose to forget that football game.
I don't remember that game.
Ty Simpson was hurt, man. What are you talking about, man? Just blame it on Ty.
Broken ribs, man.
Broken ribs. I almost said something. I'm glad I didn't say it. Never mind.
I think Carl was with us during the game. Is he not?
Were we watching that game together?
No, that was Oklahoma.
That was Oklahoma. Sure. Oklahoma.
All right, guys. We appreciate you all tuning in tonight. We've had a great show here. Of course, we'll be back here Saturday morning, 9 to 11 a.m. If you're locally here in North Alabama, you can catch us on 7:30 a.m. and 103.9 FM, Jocks Huntsville, or our Heart Radio is always an option too. We're available on there at 7:30 a.m. Jocks Huntsville. It's been a great day. It's, of course, April Fool's Day. Did anybody get duped today, real quick? Anybody get duped?
Okay, real quick. I'll tell you the greatest thing I saw today. Outback tweeted that they wanted to send their condolences to Kit Kat for their loss. I don't know if you heard about this, like in the UK, like a
theft or something.
Theft of like a bagillion Kit Kats was stolen, and they're saying that it could actually impact their distribution. And so Outback said, our condolences go out to Kit Kat. Completely unrelated. Join us this weekend for our new Kit Kat Bloomin' Onion, only $1 each. So I thought that was pretty funny.
What's NASA doing thinking launching on April Fool's Day?
Oh my gosh, I didn't think about this. Did we just get duped in a garage again?
Because it's all a joke. Because it's a flat Earth. It's all a big joke.
My boss actually texted us today and said he goes, "I appreciate you all." And it was weird because he never gives us any kind of credit. And it was a big group chat, and it didn't click at first. And I immediately clicked after about 5 minutes, and I realized what he was doing.
Yeah.
That's the best April Fool's joke ever. Hey, I appreciate it.
Huntsville also announced like a huge tunnel system update the other day, and I saw it today, and I thought it was fake. And then I realized, oh, this is real.
No, that's real. I saw that too. Is that real or fake? They're talking about this tunnel system going underneath half the damn city.
I have heard it's real.
145 million or something.
I've heard. Now the Bridge Street, which they posted today, was fake, but I think the tunnel system's real.
Can I vote to overpass 72?
Well, that's what they're trying to get around. They're trying to
put a tunnel right under 72.
72.
It's just going to be traffic under the tunnel. It's just overpass.
Let's wrap up here today, guys.
Later, guys.
We appreciate you guys. Do all the good stuff. Like if you enjoyed us tonight. Subscribe if you're new, or if you just haven't subscribed. Check and make sure if you have it. If you do, helps us here a lot. Of course, share the show. Share the show with your best friends, your mom, your brother, your cousins, your uncles. It helps us out a lot. Guys, Again, we always say we appreciate here at Off the Bench, and we'll see you guys on Saturday. This has been the Off the Bench College Football Show.